What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Spring Arena Day 2. I'm JP McDaniel. This is Rob Simpson, and we have quite the match coming up actually right now, as both players are ready. DRG going up against MKP, a rematch of the Winter Arena Finals and the Winter Championship Finals here. And while this match might not really mean anything for MKP, as he's already first in his group, for DRG, if he wins this, he is guaranteed top 6, which means he will not be eliminated. So
now, on the other hand, though, if he is not able to come through and win this, there's a chance that, however tiebreakers end up working out, that he could potentially end up at 7th place.
Yeah.
Meaning that he doesn't make it into tomorrow's championship bracket.
Right. So if he loses this, we'll be back with more information, because there's a lot that actually has to occur and be thought about before we figure out who really moves on in the top 6 and which other player will be joining Huck as the player that's been eliminated.
So down here in the lower right-hand corner of the map, moving into Game 1, you know him, you love him, he is the red Terran here. This is Marineking Prime. And in the upper right-hand corner, can he finally overcome the king himself? Will he be the one to yell that all kings must die? He is MVP's Dongraegu.
And you actually said it best. Will he be able to overcome a player that's beaten him twice in 2 grand finals here in the winter season?
Yeah, man.
Like, I'm not sure. Marineking just has his number. For whatever reason, he just loses. And I mean, you might credit that somewhat to extended series. It is a little bit harder for DRG, but the fact is that MKP historically has beaten DRG over and over.
Right. Well, so like on that note, we've seen that he's actually been beating him less and less, right? That margin has gotten just closer and closer together. At the first Winter Arena, it seemed as though MKP just really had his number, right? Like MKP had such strong matches against him. Right. And then at the Winter Championship, he actually had to start pulling like crazier shenanigans. He said that he had practiced that one crazy Thor build that he did specifically just for DRG.
Right.
And now it's finally come down to the situation where, okay, how many more tricks could MKP possibly have up his sleeve?
And down here we see the racks on the low ground going down. He will be going for the gasless expansion, as his mineral count is getting quite high, so that gives that away. Hatch first play for DRG. He will be getting his spawning pull before gas, so speed will not be coming in until a little bit later in this match. Typically, I mean, that's just, it's common, to be honest. Would not be surprised, or actually would be surprised if Marineking did anything else than open up Hellions.
I want him, I want to see, oh man, that is a bunker. Yep.
So this might be somewhat of a, I mean, there's one Marine out.
Yeah. And there's a lot of drones coming down, so really, there's no way that MKP can think this is going to be terribly effective. He's not even actually sending a second SCV, so maybe he's just building this with the intention of definitely canceling it anyway. This is distracting 5 drones for however long. He's also going to continue distracting them. Right now, he's microing away with that Marine, and really, it's just to be a bit more of a nuisance.
Right, and it's just it's exactly that, yeah. He's making sure that these drones are not mining and instead dealing with something that cost MKP a total of 25 minerals. A bunch of lings coming out here for DRG, actually, and he might be able to catch these Marines as they're trying to retreat back. There are 3 of them, though. We'll see how far MKP can get with these 3 Marines. He can't control perfectly. It looks like he is controlling himself into a wall, but now they will be taken out. And not the biggest deal there, but this is actually the big deal here, as we see 2 CCs going right down in Marineking's base. So that'll put him up to 3. Of course, he'll drop 1 over here at the natural, keep the other one to buffer his SCV count. Good job preparing that SCV, as he's about to have to fend off some lings. He sees the fact that they are on the low ground, so he's got to think, well, my opponent will be going for that quick expand.
Yeah, well, there's only 2 of them there, so he's probably going to be pulling back those SCVs real soon. And now, meanwhile, over in DRG land, he's got his Roach Warren on the way. Has not gone for his 3rd base just yet. And actually, maybe in his watching the matches that Violet played against MKP, that would have been the opportunity where you're like, oh man, you can actually just take advantage of how greedy Marineking gets.
Right.
Because we saw that just like 4 or 5 roaches in here. He has building 5 roaches. We're able to just deal so much damage to Marineking, just putting him very far behind the beginning. Oh, that wall was not perfect there, so those lings are able to get up, see all the information. He does now see that there's 4 racks being built, or excuse me, there's going to be a total of 4 out there. It's also adding on that tech lab, so really we're going to see that super heavy Marine play.
And we do have those roaches out for DRG. He will most likely just be using those for map control. I don't think he'll go for a big attack. A very quick combat shield here for MKP. What we might see MKP actually do is get, 8 to 12 Marines in the middle of the map. Well, what he would have done had he not seen these roaches coming is attack with a very small amount of Marines and then just constantly rally them cross-map. But these roaches are going to throw MKP for a loop, and uh-oh, he's going to get underneath the racks there as it is lifted. And
wow.
He is on hold position there with one of the roaches, so that is going to be somewhat annoying here for Marineking. He's got to do his best to take out these roaches, but he's only on Marine Tech. Factory not even anywhere close to being complete. We do have one Marauder coming out, which will most definitely help. But
oh man, and there he is.
Roaches, yeah, going to be able to kill a lot of SCVs.
Scrambling to land that other barracks over there so he can continue production, right? Because right now he just needs more units out immediately. Now, Marineking hasn't sustained a terribly large amount of losses just yet, although, man, that worker count is just continuing to climb in all the way up to 11 workers killed, and finally it's going to be cleaned off, but this is just the springboard that DRG needs to get ahead moving into this mid-game. And man, DRG behind us is also already moving up to his lair.
Yeah, that is a very quick lair, and already adding on a third gas, hasn't taken his fourth just yet, so maybe a high, does he have a Baneling nest? No, he does not. I thought maybe he'd be going for a high econ bust here on this Rax wall, but now we see the 5th Rax coming down. Combat shield is finished. Stem about to be finished here in just a second. I'm sure Concussive Shell will be on the way. Here is that starport, and there is the reactor for it, so 2 medevacs are coming out here pretty soon. Probably we'll see him move out with that, as he does have a pretty heavy Bioforce here with some Marauders added in. Those will definitely be beneficial to fend off any Banelings that will be coming here, as the Baneling nest has been thrown down. No third base just yet for DRG, and that might be somewhat troublesome moving forward here. And the Spire will be going down right behind the natural mineral line.
And really, man, DRG has to keep this up, right? He needs, like, there's still a chance, there's obviously a huge chance that MKP can come back from any situation, and DRG needs to have those units that he can stay active with and keep MKP in a terrible position. Now, his Baneling nest is almost finished up, and he is working on that Spire, as you mentioned, and so as long as he stays active with his units and punishes MKP as soon as he tries to move out, I really think that DRG can absolutely close this out, because he's just so good at keeping those leads. And oh, wow, a small blunder by MKP there for a little bit. He was supply blocked, unable to continue that medevac production. Now it seems as though MKP is going to be ready to push across the map, and he's going to be waiting for that stem to wrap up before he really wants to get anywhere near that creep.
Yeah, stem's still about 30% from being complete, and he also only has 1 medevac right here because he was supply blocked. Meanwhile, the creep's red for DRG is very, very far outside of his base, and that's going to be very helpful with these Banelings that are being morphed in over here at the Destructible Rocks. We're going to see him try to position the Banelings somewhere away from the ramp, as he could not because he saw Marineking come down, didn't want to give that away. The thing is that you do have to go up the ramp before you see the Banelings, but it looks like DRG is not wasting any time putting the link to the back of it and then just utterly destroying this attack. He picks up the 3 remaining Marauders, which is a good pickup because they are the most expensive units in that attack, but it just got crushed, and there was really nothing that was lost for DRG.
Well, I mean, getting out there onto that creep when he doesn't have stem, right, and your opponent has Banelings, you're pretty much guaranteed to lose stuff. And man, yeah, so Baneling Speed actually also just finished researching, so DRG is just in a beautiful position.
Yep, here is the 3rd base going down. Let's take a look at the drone count, 53. If that is getting up to 60 or anything like that, he'll be pretty able to saturate this 3rd base very quickly. But at the moment, DRG controls the middle of the map, and for a second, MKP was going to be going across the map, but these mutas are going to have something else to say about that as they fly to the natural, now headed towards the main.
Yeah, DRG just staying so active with those units. This is what you want to do. I mean, right, the Mutalisks can basically just pay for themselves over time and time again. He's now forcing MKP. Not only has he already killed a few SCVs, but he's also forced him into now making turrets. Right? He's also forcing him to stim his units and run them in the back of his base, and use that use the energy off of the medevacs when he doesn't want to. But now we see that DRG actually has the information about the 3rd down there. He was harassing it for just a little bit.
Wow.
Oh man, but he is set up with those Banelings in front of the base, and he's catching those Marines when they're so far out of position, and Marineking is just unable to respond in time while losing 2 of those supply depots out in the front, and man, he is completely supply blocked now.
Yeah, the thing is that there are a lot of Marines coming out, 9 in production because of all the reactors, so This will most likely get cleaned up. A lot of mutas were lost in that last attack. 100 supply to 97 for MKP, but he can still stop this third with these mutas, but he's got to be careful he doesn't lose any more because those are just so costly at this point in the game.
Yeah. Wow, that was actually a pretty nice defense, I think, overall by MKP.
Yeah,
he was also so smart continuing to build his supply depots. Like, even though those 3 in the front died,
right,
he still immediately got out of that deficit and was able to continue his production there.
Now, there's something to be said about the fact that this is DRG fighting for a place in the top 6. Coming into this event, a lot of people, including myself, were saying that the top 4 for the tournament is MKP, DRG, Parting, and then MC or Huck. And so far, DRG is not doing so well. I mean, if he loses this, he might be the other player eliminated with Huck tonight. So, super important game, and whatever really is going on with DRG, he's going to have to shake it off because this match is just so important. He's trying to take out the reactor there and lessen the number of Marines on the map, but MKP just has so many.
Oh, man. Yeah, and so MKP, we can see, is getting a little bit more comfortable as he starts to move out on the map there right now. And now DRG is in kind of a strange spot. It's actually going to be really hard for him to engage this because MKP does have stim right now. And we can see that MKP, wow, just getting so ballsy moving out there. Oh, man, catching a bunch of Banelings as they try to morph in, and now DRG is going to be moving in, trying to get that flank. If he catches him while he moves up this ramp, there's a chance that he's going to be able to connect there. But with the tanks in back, it's just going to be pretty difficult to get those Banelings all the way around. And now we can see MKP stimming, going in for a pretty big spread. Oh, man, and those Banelings are all used up on the Banelings. Now the Marines are going to have their way, and DRG is going to be forced to tap out.
Yeah, MKP was just in control of that entire map. You know, the attack from DRG did not work very well. He lost a ton of mutas in that first kind of run by. He did destroy the attack of Marineking, but that used a lot of gas in all those Banelings. So DRG, he's going to have to do something else, really, because whether it was the map, the fact that he couldn't get a quick third up, or whether it was that he was just completely outplayed, he's got to have to figure out what to do here if he really wants to get top 6 in this event and move on to Championship Sunday.
DRG was even just in such a good spot. Maybe he lost too many Mutalisks. Like, he was staying active with all of his units. He did a pretty good job tricking MKP and getting in with all of those Banelings, but he just really wasn't able to close it out. I mean, like you said, all of those Marines were still being built, so Marineking was able to still get enough units out to stop that assault.
Right.
I don't know. Tough break for him, man.
Yeah, Marineking, you know, with that additional early third command center, he was able just to skyrocket up in the Marine production, especially with all those racks. So.
Oh, yeah, and staying on top of those SCVs, too. When we looked at it that one time, DRG only had 53 drones compared to 49 SCVs.
Right.
Combined with the added effect of mules.
So let me make sure the players are ready. And remember, this is a best of 3 here. If DRG does not win this game, he will still be fighting for top 6. If he wins this best of 3, which means he wins the next 2 matches, it's not an easy feat whatsoever, then he will be guaranteed top 6. Both players are ready.